While Mitch is getting set up, can I have everybody's attention? Welcome to our, this is an iOS meeting, and Mitch has dropped in from,
Just got the jet.
yeah.
It's too cold to parachute.
He had his private pilot bring him in from Utah this morning, off the slopes. He looks good.
Yeah.
And
No.
he comes by once a month for the iOS meetings. Anyway, we're glad to have him back. But we wanted to make an announcement about next week's Monday's meeting at 5 o'clock. It's our annual yearly report. And I think it would be a good idea to try to get as many of you there as possible. You should know, you're a member of the club, you should know what's going on. All the workings in the background. This thing doesn't just operate accidentally. There's a lot of work that goes into managing this group. There's a lot of things currently going on. We're spending quite a bit of money currently trying to get a website and some systems so that everything doesn't have to be done manually. And we want to review that. We want to review the numbers, where the money is spent, where the money comes in from. And this is an important meeting. And it's important that everybody try to be here and try to be involved. And also the club needs your help. And we need more volunteers to jump in and teach classes and run meetings and so forth. But try to be here for next week's meeting. It'll show support for the board and so forth.
5 o'clock on Monday.
5 o'clock on Monday. Here. Anybody today that has never been here before?
Oh, good. Well, then we'll make some announcements.
And yeah, well, you can take it from there.
All right, good. Well, my name is Mitch Bryars, and I usually do the iOS, iPhone, iPad meetings. And so, for the benefit of those that are new here, we meet almost always, every Wednesday at 11:30 in this room. It's open to the public. It's free to attend. If you join, it's now $25 a year. Is that correct? $25 a year, and for two, it is 35. Okay. Now, there are some distinct advantages in joining that I'll go over briefly. And the one is that we have a discussion group on Yahoo that's a private discussion group where you can go and post questions and post answers to questions, and so that's nice, and that's only available to members. Second, we have 10, Jerry, courses?
We have 8 courses over 10 weeks.
8 courses over 10 weeks at Hodges University. Each course is 3 hours long. And the cost this year is $20 a course? $15 a course.
And the first course is actually going to be on Monday. It's on El Capitan. We have a full room, but we're going to try to fit some of the people who are on the wait list.
Okay. So if you're a member, only members can attend those courses. So I know that there'll be 2 on El Capitan,
2 on iOS 9.
2 on iOS 9. Is that open for registration yet?
No, we have not opened any other course.
None have been open. None of the other ones are open.
No.
So there'll be 2 on iOS 9.
One on iCloud, one on Photos, one on Protect Your Data, 2 on iOS applications, and Marty, what's your other class? I forget. If you go to our website, you can see them.
Yeah, and those are again only available to people who are members.
And I think it's important to mention that as soon as you see it posted, try to get in there right away and register, otherwise it appears by the first course that you could miss out. We had a wait list, I think, almost the first day.
We have a wait list of 13 people, and we probably will only be able to fit 3 of those in.
Yeah.
And we were overbooked within 4 days.
And if anybody's registered for that class, and if you think you're not going to be there, make sure you let everybody know as quickly as possible.
Jerry, how are we doing the cancellations this year? There was some discussion that if you didn't call and cancel, you wouldn't be
We
refunded.
have not set a policy yet.
We have not, okay. Okay, so then there is also a meeting, the one on Monday night that they just mentioned, and that's usually on is it the second Monday?
Yes.
Usually on the second Monday, and that goes through March, through April?
Through March.
Through March. And usually we have a guest speaker or something special on those meetings. They're in here at 5 o'clock.
5 to about 6:30.
6:30. Anything that I missed?
Lynda.com.
Oh yeah, lynda.com for members only, and that's an educational service, and they provide thousands of courses. And did we get more than 5 memberships? I know you were working on something special. No? 5 memberships, George handles that, and so if you're a member, you contact George and say, what do you have available? He'll say, I have 3 weeks available in February, for example, and he'll say, well, I want the second week of February, and he'll sign you up. And then you'll get an email, and it'll say, you're all set to go, and you log in, and you can do any course you'd like. And those are excellent. Okay, so with that, we'll open it up. George had sent in a suggestion. He said, gee, well, you know, we got the Consumer Electronics show going on. Why don't you review that? And the first thing that popped up in my mail the next day was this first smart bra. I decided not to review that, but but apparently they had this on actually on CNBC, and it's a bra, and right down here there's some electronic stuff that talks to your phone, measures everything you're doing, and I thought that was rather interesting. But I think you're going to see more and more, and they talked about this on the news this morning, more and more tags on clothing, smart tags on clothing, and so on, that are going to communicate with your devices and so on. I know that there's a few out there that you can buy right now that I've looked at that like put on your golf bag or put on your car or put on your keychain so that you can just hit a button and locate those items. The problem is that those things, a lot of the ones that are out there now seem to be in the $20 to $25, $30 range, unless somebody's found something cheaper. And the big disappointment is that they only last for 6 months or a year, and you can't put a new battery in them, at least the ones I saw. So that wasn't too appealing to me yet, but that's coming. Then I ran into this, smart goggles for cycling. I'm not going to show this video, but it works like Google Glasses, only it's just for cycling, and you put this thing on, and it's like a heads-up display where you can see you're looking out at the road, you're cycling, and you can see the speed you're going at, your heart rate, and all that stuff right there in the glass. So there's a lot of those things that are coming. Are there any other things that people want to comment on that they might have saw in the news regarding the Consumer Electronics Show?
You know what does anybody not know what the Consumer Electronics Show is all about? It's every January.
It's every January. How many people have ever attended? Yeah. It's, I attended one time, and it was a decade ago, and it was fun to go there. I mean, it's in this huge convention center in Las Vegas every year, and you know, it's a display of all the new things that are coming or that they're in development, and My recollection of that, and for those who have went, that they can comment, I'd like to hear their comments, is that half the stuff you see never seems to come to market, or I never hear about it again.
True.
I was there once in the 70s
Yes.
when Xerox displayed the computer with GUI,
Uh-huh.
which became Job's idea to start Apple.
Ah, okay. How about you? What was your experience there, Carl?
Well, I was there about the same time Bob was, and it, you know, it's like you say, a lot of stuff you see there, and think, well, that's gonna be neat when that comes on the market, but it never shows up, but
Yeah.
it
It
was
was
so
like
much stuff.
1,000 times bigger now.
Oh, yeah, and it's really huge, and it is fun to go, but I think that there are a lot of things there that you don't see. Anybody
A lot
else?
of big things come. I was about 18 years I went there.
Uh-huh.
And like Betamax, Sony Betamax, when that was introduced, the RCA one, it is true, every manufacturer does stuff that doesn't work, but it's going to work. And it never does show.
Yeah,
Or it doesn't get finance.
yeah.
Well, nobody
exactly.
buys it.
Well, you gotta give it back.
Yeah. Anyhow, that's going on this week. If you're on the news, you'll hear about, they're doing some reviews, I know, on Fox Business News all day today, periodically. So you might hear about that. Now, I had a couple of questions that were submitted, and I could answer none of them. Let me see. Bob Kennedy, I am at a loss as to what AW and IMHO is.
AW, I abbreviated for Apple Watch.
Oh, Apple Watch,
I tried about
okay.
it. And IMHO is one of those abbreviations, in my humble opinion.
Yes, okay. Well,
With it, I know it.
yeah. No, there are no, the answer to the question is there are no apps out there that are going to help you. Now, and the question was, is, can you get alerts if you're not near your phone on the watch? The only alerts you can get are alerts that you have set. So if you set an alarm, if you set a reminder, generally those kind of things will appear, but like things that are dependent on the phone, like stock alerts or emails and that kind of stuff, you're not going to get those unless you're within range of the phone, Bluetooth range of the phone, which is 20 to 25 feet. That being said, it would appear that Watch 2 is on the way. They haven't given a date for the event, but I understand it's going to be in March. It'll probably be released in April. Is that what you're hearing? Yeah. And that's about right, because it's been a year. I didn't realize it's been a year since the watch has been out. And they're real hush about what's gonna happen with the new watch. I haven't seen anything very definitive other than I heard it might be a little bit thinner than this, but it'll be basically the same form factor, and which I think is good. They're talking about a longer battery life. They're talking about more health sensors, but I'm not sure which ones they're going to be, and they're talking about they could be in a smart band. So you buy a band that actually had some smart health things associated with it, or it could just be in the back of the watch. They're sort of, really hush-hush on this, but both of those have been rumored. I would think I know that they initially planned on a lot more health data coming from the watch, and it was just too early, and They had to get FDA approval for some of the things they wanted to do. So it'd be interesting to see what they come up with. I would think that one of the things that they would be easily done would be a pulse ox. And I don't know if they could do the pulse ox just from the back of the watch. I would think that they could, because there's veins that are right underneath your hand there. Or whether that would be associated with a band. They talked about blood pressure way back when, but I think that that's maybe a couple iterations out. What else are you hearing? Anything, George? Anybody else hearing anything health-wise on the watch? Because it's been pretty hush-hush. No?
So there aren't, I mean, I haven't followed up on them as well as you do, but there's not a lot of apps out there yet.
The problem with the apps that I've found is, and I've found actually none, I think there might be one or two out there. They said they were going to open this up so where the health apps could grab like your pulse rate, your heart rate, and so on. And all the ones that I'm used to, like the cycling ones and so on, they're still not wired into the, I mean, the app will be on the, you can get it on the watch, but it doesn't seem to pick up the heart data. And I think there have been some issues there on just how I think the issue was the fact that the software had to be rewritten somehow in order to do that, and that was causing some delays. Has anybody else had any experience with that? How many people here have the watch? Okay, half a dozen. How many people, other than the ones who just raised their hands, how many people are thinking they'll have a watch within a year? So, okay, well, we'll stop talking about the watch. Yeah, that's right. Moving on. The next thing that they are talking about, I've heard some rumbles about, is a new iPad, a new regular size iPad, like the one I'm using today, and it's been rumored that, and that's way overdue. And it's rumored that that might come out. That's probably Pinnacle calling to tell us about it right now. All right, so that's been rumored that will be announced in March and be released in April or sometime this spring. And it's the big question is that are you going to be able to do use the pen like you can on the big one? And nobody seems to know. I think they got to do something with that product because their iPad sales keep on going down and or not growing at the rate that they were. And I would think that they would be looking at that and trying to figure out what they need to do. Yes?
What about new computers? Is there anything in that?
New computers, they're talking about a new MacBook Air sometime next year. And they're talking about, I know that there'll be at least an update with processors across the board. There always is. It usually comes in the fall. There's been some talk that the 27-inch and the 24-inch, either they just came out with the 24 and upgraded it, that those are a little dated and that they might somehow refresh those, but don't know.
What warrants is there like in the Mac Pro?
The Mac Pro, they just came out with a new processor that's pretty powerful.
You don't know
You mean the Mac Pro?
MacBook Pro, yeah. Oh yeah, there is some talk about the Mac Pro. They call it the garbage can. That's been out now 2 or 3 years, and that's due for a refresh. But I don't know that. Does anybody in here use one of those?
How many have been sold?
Yeah, I mean, it's a real specialty product. Have you heard anything about laptops and any kind of...
Well, yeah, there's a new Intel chip that's out.
Yeah, but I know there's a new Intel chip that'll be in them sometime next year, but other than that, any big redesign?
Well, you're not gonna hear about it until it happens. You know,
I'm waiting for Tim to call me, but he hasn't called me.
Well, ask him that question when he does.
I'm sure they got a lot of exciting things up their sleeve.
I know, on the phone, there's been a lot of talk about the 7 phone, which won't come out till next fall. There's still a lot of rumors. A couple of rumors that seem to make sense is that it'll go from edge to edge. So even if it's the same size, the screen will be bigger because it will actually go from edge to edge. There's talk about doing away with the home button completely, and that'll be just a software push. If they do that, that'll make the screen bigger. There's talk about it being thinner, as in the size of what do they call that? The eye, not the,
Touch.
the touch. The touch, thank you. Being that thin, and I've heard a couple people say, you know, how thin do they need to keep on making this thing? We'd rather have more battery life. But I don't know, I'm sure it will be a little bit thinner. Yes,
I read where they're gonna eliminate the,
I was just gonna mention that. They're talking about eliminating the jack for the speakers, which means you'll have to use a Bluetooth speaker, earpods, which I use now quite a bit, and I like them. I rarely use the wired anymore. And the reason for them eliminating that is because as they get thinner and thinner, they don't have room for it. And there's the usual rumors that they've got 800 people working on trying to improve the camera and so on. So, little too early to get firm rumors on that because it's 6 months off. Okay. So, yes.
Senator Cairns, I was wondering, I had some trouble with my phone last night for the first time.
Yes.
I have the Disaster Network, is an app on it, and it's the only one that's ever talked when the phone is off. It scared me one time last summer. But anyway, last night I put in an app called Mac App News. And I thought I did it normally, and I turned on Bluetooth, which I don't usually have. And about 3 o'clock this morning, this phone started talking to me. It said 3 words, and I can't figure them out. The last one begins with A. Does anybody have any suggestion other than getting rid of this app?
If the last word begins with A, it's not a good sign. I have no idea. Has anybody heard of that app? Why did you download it?
Because it supposedly has everything together about all the gossip of the Mac and, you know, the different things that you can do. And actually, I found it very interesting. It's called Hot Mac News, and it puts everything together. Like we've been talking about different apps here that will tell you what Mac's doing or whatever. And this has, I hit the wrong button here. But I was doing it last night. It's called the Mac Observer. And you can have App Advice, App Gazette, Apple Hot News, All Mac, App Shopper, Apple Press, Apple Bell. I mean, there's just tons of stuff in here.
Is it from the App Store?
From the App Store?
Yeah.
It's from the App Store. I mean, they're pretty good about keeping things bug-free. If it's talking to you in the middle of the night, do you have your notifications set on to silence at night?
Well, that's what you should probably, yeah, that's probably what you need to do.
Yeah, so let's look at that, okay? So you go to settings, and you go to this is the settings area. We'll start at the top, yeah, okay. And you go to this, I think it's Do Not Disturb area, okay? And you'll notice that I have a schedule, and my schedule is Do Not Disturb from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. It's device specific. So if I set this for 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. and I set my, and I forget to set my phone, my phone can still go off in the middle of the night. So you gotta set both of them, and I think both of mine I have set about the same time. And then, this allow calls from, I think that's, you can, I have no one because I don't get calls on my, other than FaceTime calls on my iPad. But you can set this to, on the phone, I think there's a little bit different settings, because I know that you can set it to,
Says everyone, no one, favorites? all?
favorites. So, like my favorites, most of my family members, so if I get a call from them, it'll still come through. Or if you've got this thing, repeat call checked, if they call you twice in a row, the second time it'll come through. I've never had any of those things go off in the middle of the night, but I do have them set in case there's some kind of emergency. But I would say that that's probably it. And again, remember if you have more than one device, to set it on all your devices.
Thank you. Has anybody ever had the disaster alert go off? Last summer, it scared the living daylights out of me. You know, because this phone is, it's sitting next to my computer and I'm cooking dinner, and all of a sudden in the other room it goes, and I'm sure you've heard it on TV or something, it goes, and then it comes on and it says disaster alert, and then it tells you where different things are.
I've had Amber Alert go.
Yeah, I have.
I've
had both.
Yeah, both, okay.
And I just never knew that it did it, and this thing.
I got a special app, might be interesting to some people in here, it's called Wife Alert. That's just kidding. Yeah, I have not had that, but obviously some others here have.
Okay, I just thought it might be related.
Related to what you experienced the other night? Yeah.
What does life alert do?
Life alert?
Wife.
Wife alert?
Wife alert.
Wife alert. Wife alert is a warning that I better straighten up and be alert.
You gotta turn that one off.
Turn down the TV so it's not too loud. Have a movie on that's a mellow movie where they're not shooting everybody. That's how it is in my house anyhow. Okay, no, that was just a joke. There is no Wife Alert app, but it's probably a good idea. Yes, Vicki?
Vicki Kelber. I just want to mention too that there is in settings under notifications, you can turn Amber Alerts off, as well as emergency alerts.
I might have mine.
Yeah, I turned the Amber Alerts off on mine. I still have the emergency alerts. I don't know what that.
Is it at
It's
the
only at
bottom?
the end
Yeah.
on the phone.
On the phone, it's not on here, so
Okay, yeah.
let me just look on the phone. I'm just
You gotta check that list also.
See, notifications.
You just scroll all the way to the
Yeah,
bottom.
Amber Alert, I have both of those on.
I think they're on by default. I never knew
Yeah.
they were there. It's on by default.
They could be,
They are.
yeah.
So if you want them off, you have to turn them off.
Okay, now, while we're in here, I got an article today from a friend that was pretty interesting on privacy. And so I want to go down here, and this is on the phone as well, to this privacy area. And if you go to privacy, and you go all the way to the bottom, you'll see advertising. Now, it's there. You got this. Can we make this a little smaller, George, to get this on the screen?
Got a command, and then do your,
Command and two fingers.
your fingers.
At the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mitchell always needs full-time babies.
Right.
That's the theory.
All right, I'm gonna let you do it. Do it.
Uh-oh, what did I just?
Yeah. Up a little. All I want, up.
As I was saying.
There we go. There we go. Okay, so you go to privacy and you go to this, thank you, George. You go to this advertising area, and what the article said was that, you know, if you're getting a lot of ads, go here, and when you go there, you can do limited ad tracking, which reduces a lot of that stuff. And it also apparently assigns some kind of a code to your device. So they don't know who it is, they just know that there's a code, and this is what this is what the person keeps on looking at, so we're going to keep on sending them stuff. So one of the things that I didn't know is that you can reset this advertising identifier, and then they'll be sending stuff to the old identifier until you establish the pattern again. So if you go here, what it'll say is reset identifier, you just hit reset, and that should reduce a lot of these pop-ups in the screens that you're watching. And then the article said one other thing, which I don't always like to do. It said to go to Safari, which I have not done, but we'll go there right now. And it said to go to the we okay here? Okay. I go to here and it said to clear the cookies. Where do we clear them? Block cookies, yeah. You can block them, but you can also clear history and web data. And if you clear the history and web data, that'll clear out all that stuff. The problem with that, for me, is that it clears out a lot of things that I like when I pull up Amazon, it knows who I am, and it sort of loads everything I want to see, and because I've cleared that out before, and then what I found is I found myself going into sites and reestablishing a bunch of stuff that I wished I wouldn't have erased. But again, that's why that was their final solution to privacy, was to go in and clear this out all the time. So I thought that was interesting, wanted to bring attention to the group. Now, I had one more comment on your question, Bob, about not being within range of the watch. On Watch 2, they are talking about technology that the one article I read said that they might have a Wi-Fi antenna in the new watch, that if you don't have your phone and you're in a Wi-Fi area, it'll pick that up and allow you to do more things. So whether that's in Watch 2 or Watch 3, I think that sounded like it was coming. I know that they...
Frankly, my interest is not to forget my iPhone.
Yes. Yes. Well, I've got to tell you, you know, everybody in here probably knows, I just recently retired, and every day is Saturday except Sunday. And one of the things I've noticed, I've had the watch now since almost a year now, 9 months or so. And just in the last 2 or 3 months, I have left the house without my watch. And and I'm one of those people, if I have time and notice it's missing and I'm not far away from home, I just go back and get it. So what I found myself doing is I've got alarms that go off now every day for me to remind me to put on my watch. Because every once in a while I forget.
Wouldn't there be some kind of an alarm that he could set to remind him to take his phone?
Oh, yeah. Well, if you don't have the phone, well. if
I have
you-
my alarm on my iPad if I don't have the phone, but if I forget both of them.
Yeah. The phone is sort of, I rarely forget
You
my
might
phone.
want to just attach a note, you might want to attach a note to the door.
I rarely forget my phone, but I have to tell you, I was out in December in Utah skiing, and I went to the lodge one day and was going out skiing and realized I left my phone at home, which was okay. I was a little bit nervous all day, but I managed to ski okay, I didn't fall down. But I borrowed somebody else's phone, and I called my wife, and I said, hey, if you're trying to get a hold of me, I'm going to be with this guy all day, call his number in case there's an emergency or something. And I think that's the first time I've been in a situation where the phone was gone all day. Okay. So I think some of those improvements that you want, Bob, are coming, but it's going to take watch 2 or 3.
No, I only have the watch because I got it as a gift. I was waiting for June.
Well, now you have something to sell in a few months. Okay, there were a couple other questions that came up. Yes.
You talk about pop-ups. Yeah, recently there was a free app on Apps Gone Free, anti-social. Do you have that? Does that work?
I did not get that, and I'm getting tired of that Apps Gone Free deal. I mean, because I just went through I bet I spent 3 hours on New Year's Day or right around the end of the year clearing out probably 25 or 30 apps on my phone and my iPad
That you never use?
that I never use, and the other 200 that I never use, I kept. I mean, I have so many apps, it's unbelievable, but
This is your new job.
this is my new job, in retirement, you have time to do that kind of stuff. But no, I have not seen that, but I downloaded a lot of stuff from Apps Gone Free and had it for 2 or 3 days and just deleted it because it really wasn't what I thought it was going to be. But I've gotten some good things there too. And is that still on the App Store? Somebody told me it was removed.
No, it's a combination thing. It's combined with another app, but I forget what it is.
Okay.
But it's no longer, it's no longer on.
What's that?
It's no longer on if you search for Apps Gone Free.
Okay.
I don't think that's right, because I'm looking at it right now.
In the App Store?
Okay. Well, I'll show you what it looks like.
Maybe
This
that's
is,
it back in
this is what it looks like. And there'll be a number here every day, and that's how many apps have gone free, and then they, and a lot, and after a day, a lot of them are gone. I mean, they'll say it's gone. So, you know, here are several of them, and I go by the ratings, but if I see something like this, 5-star rating but only 7 reviews, it's questionable. You see something like this first one, 4.5 stars and 1,123 reviews. That would be probably a pretty good app if you were into that. But a lot of these things are games. But that's what it looks like. And then you can go back. So like here's yesterday's. But if you go back like a while ago, like here it'll say expired because I'm back to January 2nd, and this music clock is expired. This one's expired. This one's expired. So I've used it a lot, but I've collected a bunch of. I mean, I just have a lot of apps. I mean, there's probably 100 of them in these folders right here.
It's easy to know which one's where, right?
Well, you know, if you don't know, it's easy to search.
Yes.
I mean, so if you go, like, if I go here, well, here it's showing the ones that are there, but if I go here and look for, CNBC, it'll come up CNBC, that's the app, and then here are emails mentioning CNBC, here's news, and so on, notes. So that search thing's a really neat thing.
Mitch,
Yes.
Scott Silver, is there any way to have Siri app suggestions, have specific apps in there that you want to appear often, like contacts? I want to search for a phone number, I go to Siri and put in a name, and it doesn't always bring up contacts. I have to go back to my contacts to search for the name.
No, I've had a little difficulty with that lately myself. I've had difficulty with, even in the phone book, I mean, different things coming up that were sort of screw looking that I've never seen before. But no, not that I'm aware of.
Mitch, for the new people, can you show them how to get to that search screen?
Oh, yes, you start, put your finger anywhere like right in here, but not at the top. Right in here and pull down. And it's the same thing on the phone. Now, if you do it from the top, if you do it all the way from the top, from up here, then what comes down is the notification stuff. Okay? And then right here, you can't see it, but you'll be able to see it in a second. You can see this little thing appears at the bottom, and that's how you get rid of it. One of the ways there, I'll set the
Okay.
button. Yes.
Bob Kennedy. There is also, if you have this screen
Yeah,
up,
you can go-
you drag to the other direction.
Sorry, I'm not
What
sure.
you're saying,
From off the screen.
The first screen of this sort, the first one.
The home screen.
Yeah, one more.
okay.
You did, you just did.
One more.
Oh, yeah, there.
That's another way.
Yes, to get to the search.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mitch?
And it also gives you suggestions, and I haven't figured out, I mean, these are a lot of people that I've called recently, but, I mean, like the last person I called on this list was Lupe. And some of these other, I mean, this is my lovely wife. I haven't talked to Howie in 4 or 5 days, and this is my son, I talked to him last night. So I don't understand the logic of this order that these recent ones appear. And then what this is supposed to show is apps that you usually open at this time of day, but I find that that's not always very reliable. Although it usually does show ones that I frequently open. Like I look at this, we talked about this last month, this movie of the day app, where it'll have a movie, of the day that'll be, this happens to be a kid's movie that's on sale for $7.99. It's usually $14.99 in the App Store, and they'll have a different one every day.
Hey Mitch, when I search,
Yeah.
when you touch that, it brings the app up, but it doesn't tell you what folder it was in, does it? No.
I can tell you that. It used to. Yes, it does. So Facebook, why is this thing crooked again, George?
Just move it over.
I didn't touch it.
I know it's over.
Control. Drag 'em in. Yep. There you go. I don't know what you're doing either.
George, it's a two-finger drag.
There we go. Is that big enough for everybody? Good.
Yeah.
Okay, so, yeah, so like Facebook's, I have in a reference folder. So it does show that. Now, like the FaceTime camera is not in a folder. I don't know if there's any more here or not. No, there aren't. Well, yeah, there are a few more. There's Faces is in finance.
What?
I don't know why that's in finance, but, and then Factbook is in reference. I don't know what that is. Oh, yeah, there it is. It's nothing. Okay. Oh, no, it's not even wanting to work. There we go. Here's this book. Well, I have to restart here, George.
You get just a black screen on your iPad.
Yeah, so I'm restarting it. So yeah, they do show in the folders that you put them in, which is nice. I knew that they used to do that several years ago, because I think that was an enhancement 3 or 4 years ago. And if this is restarting, we'll just take a minute. Any questions while it's restarting? Yes?
Is Apple software people are working on fixing the problems with the mail?
I knew there was problems with the mail.
Ever since they all cut it, there are a lot of people complaining.
That is a question for our fearless leader, because I do not, I only used mail on here. I don't use it on the El Capitan at all. So Jerry, the question is, has Apple addressed the problems with mail on El Capitan?
Well, give me some specific problem.
It actually disappears, my icon disappears from my
dock.
Yeah.
Well,
And then I have to go up into applications, whatever utilities, and find it again and bring it out.
well, that's not mail, that's just the fact that somebody dragged the icon out of the dock, and therefore the dock put it in the trash. I mean, if you hit, what we're talking about is the dock, and it will show, if you're like George, it will show 250 icons down at the bottom, which are your applications. If you click on one and drag it off the dock, it'll go poof, and you won't have the quick access to it. But what you do is you go into the applications folder, touch on the application, and drag it back into the dock where you want it to be, and it'll be there. So I have not had them disappear unless it was something that I was doing after 5 o'clock after my third martini.
You're still awake after 3 martinis.
Okay, back in business. So that answer it?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so let's see, there was another question here. Discussion on how to organize music in iOS 9. It seems very different from earlier versions. And I have no idea, because I don't organize my music with iOS 9. I do it on iTunes.
You do it on iTunes?
I do it on iTunes.
So you put it all, you connect your iPhone up to the main computer?
Yes. And the only thing I organize.
I'm
really-
Merle Bowser, the one who asked the question.
Yeah, the only thing that I really do in terms terms of organization is create playlists. I mean, I'm pretty simple when it comes to music. I've got a 10 or 15 favorite playlists, and I'll add to them every once in a while. And I have added to them on the device, but I couldn't immediately tell you how, because probably the last time I added a song on my device was 6 months ago to one of those lists. But anybody else have a comment on how to organize your music on iOS 9 on your device? Does everybody mostly do it in iTunes?
I have a question.
Yes.
On a playlist in iOS 9.
Yes.
And I use iTunes for my music.
Yes.
On playback, it wants to shuffle all the time. It used to do that. I don't think.
No, it's a
so.
shuffle, unless you put it in albums. Unless you put everything in albums. That's what I can't figure out.
It shuffles all the time. I always want it to
Shuffles all the
shuffle.
time.
But it's definitely a setting.
Yeah, that little icon is hard to see.
Let's go in here and take a
But
look.
it
It's
should
at the
be,
top of the playlist.
Um, Okay, so at the bottom, you go to playlist. That's Tim again. That's Tim, or they call up here. Okay, so if you go to playlist, then let's just go to like Celine.
Yours says shuffle. So when you play that, will it shuffle?
There is a shuffle there.
Yeah.
How do you turn it on?
Click it. No?
That seems to work.
I think if you just hit the top tune in the list, it'll go down the list, where it'll start wherever you hit. And otherwise, if you hit shuffle, then it'll go, then it won't just shuffle.
Well, yeah, but mine does now. It shuffles every time.
Even if you hit the first song?
Even if I hit the first one.
Mitch,
Yeah.
if you touch on the selection, you see at the bottom of the screen where the play and the forward button, if you touch on that
Yeah.
and open up the individual selection.
This one?
No, down at the bottom of the screen.
Well, this is.
Down at the bottom of the screen, right there. There's the shuffle icon in the lower left-hand corner. And it's lit up. So if you touch that, it turns off shuffle.
And now it's off.
Yes. So if you hit skip, it should go to the next song in the list now.
But that's not what.
You have
this
repeat
looks
on
like.
it, I think.
This doesn't look like that. You're on the iPad. My iPad doesn't look like the iPhone. Mitch?
Yeah, that's how you turn it off.
Mitch?
Yeah,
My
just a second.
Doesn't look that way.
That's how you turn it off.
Down at the bottom where you got the play arrow.
Yeah.
What did you hit to get to that?
We hit this.
Which is what?
What's this?
That's the song.
No. Oh, you just touched the song itself?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's this right here I'm touching.
Ah, okay.
Okay? And when you touch that, it must be a default that it's on, because it's on again right now. Both of them are. So you turn it, no, it's not. They're not on now.
Okay.
Yeah?
So once you turn it off for one playlist, will it remain turned off?
Well, let's see. Let's go out and look. Let's look at Elvis.
Oh, now I can't get it off.
Okay. apparently it does, it turns it off on all of them.
Good. I mean, good for me, not for you.
Yeah,
You
but-
keep the shuffle.
But I guess if you hit here, it turns it back on. It does.
And where did you hit?
I hit the shuffle up here. Yeah, and then you have to go in here and turn it off. Who doesn't like that music? Come on. Okay, on the
This
iPhone.
doesn't look anything like that.
Well, I'm gonna look at that right now, and I'll see if I can guide you through it. Okay, so, let's see. Yeah, I'll put it on the screen.
It's the same.
It's the same.
Let's see, not coming up here on the screen.
Put out, just press OK. Did it say reflector crash? Yep. Crash.
No, I might not have it on the right internet on the phone. I should. Yeah. Yep, it did. Oh, here we go. There we go. Okay, so now, let's go to music. Okay, music. Playlist. I think it's right here. Nope. My music. Oh, it is a little different.
Yeah.
So my music playlist is over here instead of at the bottom. So I'll hit playlist. Okay. Y'all didn't like Elvis, so we'll go to John Denver. There we go. There's Johnny Boy. And if I hit the first song, I'm doing the shuffle on that. So then I hit down here on the song. And that's what happens.
Put Elvis back. He's in the room.
Problem already.
Elvis has left the building. He got ticked off at you guys. I don't know why that's the
Jerry
way.
needs your magic touch.
Huh?
Everything's very sensitive.
Okay, so here we go to music again. And again, here's these things. And let's see, did that turn it off or on? There, that turns it on. So now, yeah, you can see it sort of highlighted there. So to turn it off, I just go like that. So it's a little bit different on the phone, but not much different. The big difference is, come on.
I need a bunch of playlists. That's my problem.
Yeah, the big
I don't
difference
have any
is
playlists.
the playlist is up here rather than down here.
Yeah.
If you haven't created playlist, the only place, I think you have to create those on iTunes. I'm pretty sure about that. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yes.
You asked about organizing music on an iDevice. If you go onto the individual song, like you had before,
Yes.
click on that.
Mhm. Okay, so go to here. Yep.
Click on the song down at the bottom. Touch
Yep.
that. And the three lines on the right, just to the right of the fast forward triangles, allow you to rearrange all the songs
Oh,
in the
yeah,
playlist.
rearrange the songs in the playlist.
And the three dots, if you go back one screen,
Um,
the The
Yes.
three dots at the bottom right allow you to add songs to a playlist or remove from a playlist.
Yeah, that's
So
how
you
I've
can
done
do a
it.
lot of organizing in the phone.
That's how I've done that in the past. And
Okay, thank you very much.
I appreciate you bringing that to our attention, Scott, because I only do that about once every 6 months. And it always takes me 20 minutes of Googling to figure out how to do it. So that's very good.
So
Very
look
good
at the
point.
list.
I don't hear anybody complaining about poor old John, but I'm gonna turn him off. Okay. Yes.
Sort of related to that, I listen to public radio while I walk, and they claim that you can stream 90.1 without using data outside of Wi-Fi. That can't be true. Is there a way to live stream public radio in the iPhone out of Wi-Fi environment without using data?
I have no idea because I don't do that. Does anybody else have a comment on that?
That's what they claim, but
What I would do, I would Google that subject. Just Google, what was the question again?
Yeah, if you can stream public radio on your phone without using data, that's what they claim.
If you Google that you'll get a response. Vicki?
Mitch, I have a question, and I'm just going to throw it out. If anybody can think of the answer, they can just post it on Naples, on the Mac discussion group. I won't take the time for it. I have a problem with iPod Shuffle, and that is that when I load a playlist, it insists on mixing up the order of the playlist, even, if I have like the number selected. And if it's music, I don't care, but for foreign language lessons, I get lesson 36 and lesson 2. I've even tried going in on this side after it's loaded to the shuffle and rearrange, and that doesn't work. So if anybody has a solution for how to maintain that playlist when I sync it with my iPod Shuffle, please just email. Thank you.
Not a problem in syncing it with your phone?
I don't use the phone.
Okay.
I use it when I walk on the beach in the morning, and I just bring a little shuffle.
Okay. Does anybody quickly know that answer?
And the thing is, on the phone, I could rearrange it. But you can in the shuffle.
Okay. Well, lost my train of thought now. But while I've got the phone connected, any more phone questions?
These folks right here are brand new to the phone.
And they just got me yesterday.
Oh, just got it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm already ready to take it back.
You're already ready to
I want my money back.
And isn't there a free book that they can download from the bookstore?
Yeah, there is. But that's not, the best thing to do is to become a member for $25. And only really, if you want to economize one, you can become a member, and that'll allow you to get lynda.com. And what's the backlog on Lynda right now?
About a month.
About a month. And they have a course on iOS that will teach you everything and anything that you want to know about the phone. There is a book, and I think, let me just look on the Apple site.
It says there's a user's guide.
User's Guide, yeah, that's what it is. Let's just look at Safari. Is it in the App Store?
Yeah, it's in the App Store too.
Okay, so let's go to the App Store. I'll do it on here, but it's the same on the phone. And what is it, iPhone user manual?
You still have your phone up on the screen.
We're going to change that in a minute. User guide, but it's for 6. Oh yeah, 6 plus, okay. So let me sign off of here.
I did have a question about the iPhone. Yeah, Mitch, I had a question about iPhone.
Just a second. Oh, well, I can get back on in a minute. Okay, so here we're back on, and I went into the App Store, and I searched for, I just put in IPH up there in the search field. And this came up, and there's a long list, but there's a iPhone user guide. iPhone 6 user guide. And, but I don't know why it didn't come up. Okay, iPhone. I don't see the Apple one. Where's the Apple one? It's not here. Who said it was on the App Store?
Probably in iBooks.
Huh?
I think it's in iBooks.
Well, it isn't.
It's free in our.
Free in iBooks.
So if you do a search there.
This app's got 6S.
Purchase, my books.
Just search for it.
There is no search. Where's the search? Category? I always get it from the,
iPhone 4S, that's a big deal.
I always get it from here. And search for no, it's not coming up. I know there's a way to get it.
I think I saw it on my phone when I first turned it on. I think
You
I
first turned it
searched
on?
Yeah,
I just-
for,
I
Yes.
just Googled, searched here,
Yes,
iPhone user,
yes.
and iPhone user guide came up, iPhone user guide for iOS 7.1.
Okay, you Googled it?
And,
Okay, you Googled it?
not Google, search.
I've got it as help.apple.com.
Help.apple.com?
Yep, and it's got all the phones in there, including the S's.
Okay.
Go to the Apple Store, they'll help you with
Oh.
the store itself.
I thought I had adopted a guy for.
We'll do it after the meeting.
Homeless thing.
How did you
Take
get it?
food.
How did you get it?
I put in the search.
I put that in, anything under help.apple.com.
Well, we can search on.
Yeah, it's there. It is there.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
Who had the, wait a minute, Jim, who had the question on the iPhone?
7.
Yeah, Linda Colvin, I'm still using my iPhone 5 running OS 8 right now, but when I set it up, I set up my mail for Earthlink,
Yeah?
and about a year ago, I had a question on how come I couldn't create mailboxes on my iPhone, and whoever looked at it said I didn't have an IMAP account, I had a POP account.
Uh-huh.
And I was just wondering, when I talked to Earthlink yesterday, they said they do have IMAP now. Of course, you have to pay more for it. But I was just wondering, what's the advantage or disadvantage of IMAP? Because they sort of said things get stored on their server, and then you have to pay more for more storage. I don't really understand.
I'm going to defer, all mine are IMAPs, so I don't even have the other kind anymore. I'm going to defer to Jerry.
Well, the fundamental advantage of IMAP over POP is that if you have more than one device, they will synchronize through IMAP. When you delete a message on one, it will get deleted on the other. With POP, it is fundamental structure. When you delete it, first the second device device will never see the message because the first device will download it. So IMAP is the better system to use, particularly if you have more than one device.
And the other thing is, if you're paying for email, unless you're anti-Google because they spy on everything, I just get a free Google account. Why pay?
Or Yahoo account.
Huh?
Yahoo.
Or a Yahoo account,
Or iCloud.
or iCloud,
There's a comment over here.
yes.
Relating to the so-called advantage of being able to delete one message on your phone, and let's say on your MacBook, it also is deleted.
Yes.
I like to be able to clear the messages on my phone and like being able to keep a particular message on my computer. I see that as an advantage.
With the pop account.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have both.
Yeah, and I don't, when I delete something, or put something in a folder, that's where I want it, and that's where I want it everywhere. So it's just a matter of personal preference.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I had set mine up so that if I accessed it first on my iPhone and read it, then it wouldn't delete because I wanted to have it still there on my MacBook Pro when I turn that on.
Okay.
So,
Okay, we got time for another one. Yes, Jim.
I just wanted to go back to the user guide issue.
Yes.
I like to take control books. They're very reasonably priced and they're usually updated frequently for user guides.
Yes.
And YouTube, I mean, there's hardly anything I've ever wanted to find out that I could not search for on YouTube and get a video lesson.
Yeah. That's a good point. And so you just have the phones, is that all you have? You don't have an Apple computer? How about, you got an iPad?
yeah.
Okay, so that's a good point. So if you go here, let's just say you want to do, let's do how to do iPhone mail. Search on that. And all this stuff comes up with all kinds of stuff on how to do your iPhone mail. But if you look here where it says all, and then it says videos, that's what Jim's talking about, you go there, and now it'll have videos. And it'll tell you how long. This one's 12 minutes, this one's 1.4, this one's 5 or 8 minutes. And so how to use iPhone email app. So that's 12 minutes. Let's just go into this real quick, and it'll open it in YouTube's, and we'll play this for just a second. Oops. Okay. Sometimes there is a
Lower right-hand corner,
full screen.
lower right-hand corner of the black.
Oh. Full screen.
Lower right-hand corner of the black.
There's nothing there. Well, let's go do a different one. Doesn't want to play any of them on here. Why is that, George?
Started first. Did start.
What's that message say?
It says, playback error. Tap to retry. Here we go. Nope.
Try another one.
Let's try this one. It's not liking this. And I'll try one more place, and it's here, and see if that makes a difference real quick. Okay, done. And now we'll go to, now we'll show you something. We'll show you a trick here. So now we're into Safari. And I'll go here. Let me show you what I'm doing. Okay, right down here on the phone, it shows you other pages that you have open. So if I go there, I have all these pages open, and you can see I have quite a few open. I should close a bunch of these. But if you go to the bottom, it'll have what I have open on my iPad. It says Mitch's iPad Air 2 and how to use the iPhone Google search. So that's what I'm going to go to real quick. Rather than type go in again. And I'll go here and I go videos and I'll try this first one again and see what happens. Okay. That doesn't like it.
Having a conflict with reflectors.
Yeah, it's having a conflict. But anyhow, if you go there, virtually any subject, Google it and then hit video, it'll take you to YouTube's. And, yeah, and a lot of times, whether I watch the video or not, depends on how many views they've had. So if I go how to use Apple iPhone Mail, and I see that there's 3,000 views, and the one below it, there's 150,000 views, I'm going to watch the one below it. And there's also ratings on there. But, yeah, I would give yourself a few weeks of using the phone before you run to take it back, because they really are. I mean, we have Ruth here, our senior member. Ruth, how old are you now? 97?
And a half.
97?
Yeah, when you get to be 97, you start counting half.
And Ruth has an iPhone, has an iPad, right? An Apple computer, and you don't have the watch yet. Not yet. But if Ruth can do it, and all these other people can do it, and I love it, just give it a little time.
And her member number for the club is number 2.
Number 2, yes. Number 2.
Who's number 1?
Yeah.
Art, he's passed on, but Art,
He's passed on, so how can we not know?
we kept, for the first 100, we kept the numbers for posterity, just for things like this.
Hung his jersey on the wall.
Yes, one more question, and then we're going to have to go. Yes.
It's not a question, a comment. If you are interested in Lindley.com, you can sign up for a 10-day free trial, so if you have a particular course for free.
Yeah, that's a good point. Sign up for a 10-day free trial, and then just search for, I always just search for Apple, iOS, and there's 3 or 4 courses that'll come up. And all of them are very good. I've been through all of them. One more, yes.
If you have a home library card, Naples doesn't have it, but a lot of home library cards now will give you access to lynda.com for free. But mine at Oak Park, Illinois does.
Okay, it's good to know.
Yeah, that's interesting that was brought up, because I did hear from one of our members that was using Lynda, that she released all the space that she had reserved, saying that she could use her library. Now, Naples Library does not have it yet, and I have had some conversations with lynda.com, and they are trying to pursue the Collier County system. But a lot of libraries around the country, particularly if you're from out of town, you might want to check your library.
I know that my affiliation is with Bank of America Merrill Lynch, and I said I'm retired, but I'm still on a retainer there for another couple of years, and I get free access. They get free access to all the employees of the bank, and it's a very underutilized resource. I mean, people look at it and say, oh, this is great, and they take 1 or 2 courses and they forget about it.
How about
What's that? Notebook. We mentioned Notebook. That's the...
No, we didn't. But no, but that's a good option.
Oh, yeah.
They have all the tutorials
No
also.
Boom also has.
What is it?
No Boom.
How do you spell that?
Noteeboom. He's very good. Yes?
Bill Nice. If somebody's quite familiar with iMovie,
Yeah.
I'm having a problem, I'd like to talk to them afterwards.
Okay, so if you, Bill will be standing around, and if you're familiar with iMovie. Yes, one more.
Diane, Brian, you talked about cleaning out your pages, and I had read conflicting reports about you need to do it to save battery life, you don't need to do it.
No, you don't need to do it. I do it periodically, but you really don't need, I don't think that is, I think they've solved that battery issue, but our battery expert is Don, our treasurer, in the back of the room. Do you have any comments on that, Don?
No, I agree with what you said. You don't, they don't take up, according to what we've read, it doesn't take up.
It doesn't, but, I mean, I get so many pages open. I keep this pretty clean, and watch, I'll have too many open, but, I mean, I have, 6 or 7 sites, and they're listed. Oh, I don't have it on here, but on my iPad, I usually only have a dozen sites at the top that are open. But I tend to, on the iPhone, because they don't show, and they show in that cascade mode when you hit the button. Every once in a while, I hit that cascade mode, and I just think, oh, I gotta get rid of something. And they used to say it was unlimited, but there was a limit of 20. And I think it is more than 20 now, because, I mean, I've had a lot of them open. So thank you so much for coming. We're going to get out of here.